here's the thing. Here's something for the open mic this morning. We're opening up the open mic from the My HISRadio app, which you can tap on the open mic, tap record anything that you want on the open mic on the My HISRadio app. Here's this one teacher that has what he calls an irrational fear. It's of hammerhead sharks. That doesn't sound irrational to me.
Not at all.
It's hammerhead sharks. He said this in the class. Next thing you know, his students come in dressed like a hammerhead shark. They had a shirt, looked like a hoodie. The hoodie part was like the mouth, and then they made the eyeballs and stuff. And so they all of them dressed as a hammerhead shark because he said that was his irrational fear, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah.
Makes me think of those, I don't know, irrational fear.
Right. Like, you kind of see it, but it really doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Right?
there's like one that is a fear of getting peanut butter stuck to the roof of your mouth.
What? Really?
Yeah, and so people can eat cookies that are peanut butter flavored, but they can't actually eat peanut butter because they're so afraid that peanut butter's going to get stuck roof of their mouth.
Jake was telling me he has, what did you call this?
Megalophobia.
Megalophobia, which is a fear of what?
Unnaturally large things. But let me clarify. I'm not talking about like a cruise ship or a whale. I mean like unnaturally large things. I don't know. I just have like dreams about it.
So if you saw like a big bug on the porch, would that be a megalodonia, whatever you called it?
No.
Okay.
Megalophobia?
Yeah.
Okay.
What would give me one example?
Like the megalodon.
Oh, okay.
What's that?
Which is a humongous shark, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, unnaturally, it's not really out there, I don't think.
Right.
But so my daughter kind of has this as well. So there's a flag that is humongous on one of the roads that she drives on. She cannot look at it.
Oh, at the dealership.
Yes.
Yeah, that with a big old honking flag.
It freaks her out.
Really?
Yes.
How about you, Jake? Is that an example of it too?
Yeah, not for me personally, but yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that wild?
Scott has what is it called? Mega coffeean? What is it?
I've got a decaf phobia.
A
It's the
decaf
fear
phobia.
of getting a cup of decaf coffee because I don't feel like I'm getting the full worth of a cup of coffee if it's decaf. So I got to have the caffeinated version.
I wonder if there's a technical term for that. Like if that is actually a thing.
There's got to be something phobia, decafeophobia or something. I don't know. Sounds like one. I'm
We'll
curious.
create one today.
Yeah.
Decafophobia.
Yeah, somebody's got it for us. A few texts on this, too, at 800-447-7234.
Yeah, irrational fears. And Michelle says, it's mice for me.
Really?
Yeah. Kimberly, however, she has a couple. She said, first of all, being stuck, whether it's on an elevator, a roller coaster, cars over bridges. And she says, like if the car fell
Right.
off the bridge. So, yeah.
Well, I wonder how that happened, Kimberly.
know.
There's got to be a story, on how that happened. Here's some open mics that came in on these irrational fears.
I have an irrational fear of frogs. If I see a frog, I will absolutely go running in the opposite direction.
I have an irrational fear of cockroaches. They are disgusting.
I don't have a fear of like the worker bees. I've gotten over that fear, but I still have a huge fear of wasps and hornets and stuff like that. Because I mean, they're frightening. I get terrified and run and keep them things away from me.
So my mom has a fear of roundabouts. So every time she goes around the roundabout, she freaks out and has a mental breakdown.
Really? I wonder if it's because you're trying to figure out how to get off the roundabout and the cars that are coming onto the roundabout.
That is wild. And it feels like when you're on a roundabout, there are many people that don't know.
You should hear these open mics that came in. I know some texts came in, too.
Yeah, Mercedes texted and she said, I am terrified of clowns. I can't even deal with Ronald McDonald. I just can't do.
That's
any
horrific.
clowns.
I'm so sorry that you missed out on those birthday parties at Mickey D's.
Right? And then we also got a text from Lauren and she said, my irrational fear is to completely close cabinet doors or drawers. So if they're not closed completely, like she freaks out.
I have a fear of bridges. It is pretty bad. Many, many years ago when we were in the Florida Keys for the summer, I would make my kids put on life jackets before I drove across the bridge.
My granddaughter has a fear of pattern holes. There's a name for it. Can't think of it right now, but she doesn't like when there's a pattern of holes.
My name is Ilana, and I just got over my irrational fear, but I don't know what to call it. It's kind of, so I'm not afraid of heights, and I'm not afraid of water, but I'm afraid of going off of heights into water.
My name is Balin, and I'm afraid of anything with a stinger. Very afraid.
Thank you.
My unnatural fear is not being able to watch somebody on television do a daredevil act, like jumping off of a cliff or jumping between buildings. I literally picture myself doing that, and it could cause me to panic.
Stink bugs, I hate them. My sister hates them too, and they're disgusting.
This is Rick. I don't have an irrational fear, but my wife does on plants. Sometimes under the leaves you get those spores or whatever, those little round things that form under leaves. I don't even know what makes them, but she has an irrational fear. It freaks her out when she sees those, and she can't touch the plant or even get anywhere near it.
Really? That is interesting. A lot of open mics on this, too.
Jennifer said log trucks. I have an irrational fear of driving behind them. And Megan texted and said of birds. If they are near me, I freak out. If you pick one up and you bring it towards me, it's not going to be a good thing for you.
A bird?
Yes.
Really?
I don't like birds.
Wow. I'm learning a lot today.
I am too.
I had no idea. Here's some open mics that came in on irrational fears. This is from the My HISRadio app.
I have a phobia of snakes, which I'm sure many people do, but this summer we had a snake come in our house, a black snake, I assume. I didn't see it, my son did. But I slept with my light on, my clothes on, and my shoes up until I was able to receive some glue traps that I proceeded to put along every single wall in my house.
My daughter has an irrational fear of manhole covers or anything of the sort. She refuses to walk over them.
My daughter has a fear of snails. She will jump over the porch to get into the door if there's snails on the back porch, on the doorstep.
Good morning. I actually have two irrational fears. The first one being frogs. Anything the size of $50 or bigger, I am absolutely done for. I've tried to tell myself they can't hurt me. It doesn't matter. I will break out into a cold sweat, scream. I can't handle it. The other one being porta potties, but not for the reason you may think, but for the fact that I am terrified that there is a snake waiting down in there for me. A snake anywhere else, I'm fine, just not in a porta potty.
I have chicklophobia, which is the fear of bubble gum.
I know it may sound silly, but I got an irrational fear of clowns.
When my daughter was about 18 months of age, I dressed her up as a clown for Halloween. I showed her what she looked like in the mirror, and she just freaked out. Well, later that evening, when I took all the makeup off, she looked at the mirror and she said, "I'm back." It's then when I realized that she must have felt like she was taken over by a clown. To this day, she's still afraid of clowns, and she's 36 years old.
My wife has an irrational fear of sharks, and not just at the beach. It applies to pools and sometimes toilets.
Toilets? Oh, I don't mean to laugh, but that is funny. Wow.
She's like, I got to take really quickly. Really quick. There's a shark getting me.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
Now, California is going to do it. They're going to let people have their driver's license either on their Google or their iPhone.
It'll make it much easier for traveling, but don't you have to also have a physical copy?
In California? No.
Okay.
In Georgia, Colorado, Maryland, Arizona, and Ohio, those are 5 other states that you don't have to have the physical license on you. It's good enough just for the Apple Wallet.
Okay. Well, then that makes it much easier. I love having things in the Apple Wallet. Now, I don't have a card. I don't use Apple Pay or anything like that, but I do like having movie tickets and
the airline tickets and stuff like that.
Yes.
I do the same thing.
So easy.
Although I do have some plastic on it.
Okay.
A couple of things I just like the tap. It's so great. Go up to the gas station, tap.
I know it's super easy, but for whatever reason, I just haven't done it yet.
No. I get that. That's okay. But here's the thing. The question mark I have with the driver's license in those states, if you travel somewhere else and get pulled over on vacation, like say you're not in Arizona, you're in, I don't know.
Ohio.
In Ohio, you can have it in Ohio.
Never mind.
Yeah, but what if you're in Wisconsin, you're driving around, you get pulled over, you're in the rental car, and you don't have your physical license on you? will they accept because your state allowed you to have it on your Apple Wallet or on the Android phone?
I would think
Will they?
not.
That's my thought too, but I don't know.
Or if you're traveling internationally, you're going to need that paperwork. Like you can't.
Well, you have to have your passport.
Well, but still, don't you have to have your driver's license and your passport?
Maybe.
There's so many questions.
Right?
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
There is a new tip. Let's say you're running to your mom's house this weekend. You're going to be gone for several hours, or you're taking a long trip. Take a picture of your oven. Because when you get 30 minutes down the road and you go, oh, did I turn the oven off? Did I turn the gas off? Did I turn, whatever off? Then you can reference your picture and say, yes, I did.
People literally do this every time they leave, take a picture of their oven? Really?
Especially if you're somebody I went through a time, and I don't know why, where I would feel like I left my iron on or my hair straightener. And I would get down the road and I'd have to call one of the kids that were still at home and go check my hair straightener. I think I left it on.
How would you remember to take a picture, though?
I don't know. I'm just saying
Really?
you could,
I guess people, well, you wouldn't say that if people aren't doing that.
Yeah. But I will unplug after I use now the iron or the hair straightener. I immediately unplug it.
That's good.
And then I don't have to worry about.
It's a lot better than taking a picture of it.
Yeah.
And then walking away.
But at least you can reference it back, or maybe your spouse is questioning, did you turn off the oven? Are you sure you turned off? Then you can go, proof is right
Scott
here.
does something when you go on vacation. What's that?
I make sure I turn the water off to the washing machine. Now,
What?
Back when
Really?
yes, because when I was still living at home back in college, I was at home, and all of a sudden I heard this sound, and one of the water hoses burst, and water was spraying everywhere. Thankfully, I was home to be able to turn it off, but I've read horror stories where people have been on vacation, and the water pipes, those hoses have burst and just flooded a house. So I'll make sure that I turn the water off to the washing machine before we head out of town.
Never thought of that.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
It is a really good idea. I ran, our dog groomer is like 30 minutes away from our house. So I ran to the dog groomer. My son was at home, and that happened. It did. The hose came unconnected. My husband had just left to go out of town, fishing trip or whatever. And by the time I got home, completely laundry
and
room
then
flooded.
that's bad. I've had some flooding stuff happen in my house, and that's just no.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
They're willing to relocate to be able to date the one they love.
Oh, that's nice.
And some of the characteristics that some of the ladies are looking for, the more hair that covers the body, that seems to be attractive to them.
Oh.
The more eyes, I think, that they have.
The more eyes? So, wear the glasses? Is that what you're saying?
No. I think they have something like 6 eyes or something. Talking about tarantulas.
Oh.
They're on the dating scene in Colorado. And
They're on the dating scene.
They
okay.
are. They're migrating so that they can find their one true love. And so there are millions.
How does a tarantula move to Colorado?
Sideways? I don't know.
They jump a train? I mean,
No, they have quite a few legs. They have 8 legs, so they're looking for their.
so they go from Arkansas to Colorado.
I guess so. It's just.
They're on a trek from Toronto.
It's so gross. It is so gross. I didn't realize that Colorado was a place that would have tarantulas anyway.
Well, they do.
Because I thought it would have to be a good bit warmer in my mind.
It can be warm. But hey, listen, the mountains are beautiful. I mean, I don't blame them for wanting to be in Colorado. You know what I learned? Ben's mom has something about spiders.
Yeah, I mean, she has arachnophobia, so anytime a spider showed up in the house, I was the one that had to, stomp on it.
Oh, my.
So tarantula is so gross. They're so gross. They're covered in hair. They have all those eyes. I don't like the little teeny tiny wolf spiders. You ever seen a wolf spider?
We were just talking about Ben's mom.
I'm sorry. I just can't. I'm with your mama, Ben, for sure.
What does this do to you now?
I mean, I'm fine with them, and I, appreciate what they do for, nature, but I don't want it on me,
Can I say who's weighed in?
Who?
Chuck said a big old bag of nope.
Oh, we just got a text from Chuck, huh?
Shanna said, "Thank you for informing us about the new dating scene officially never going to Colorado."
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
I was absolutely clueless, so I apologize to every group text that I left and didn't tell you why. I had no idea that was etiquette. I thought, hey, this is boring me. I'm sorry. I'm leaving.
Yeah, or you get so many notifications.
Oh, my word.
And you're like, I can't do it
Your
anymore.
text just keeps dinging and dinging and dinging and dinging and dinging, and it will not stop. And so I usually will leave a group.
I will too.
But I had no idea that it's rude to do that if you don't announce, number one, that you're leaving and why.
Right.
Because I have to be brutally honest if I have to say why.
Oh, I know. Well, you don't have to be brutally honest, but honesty is the best policy, but you can take the brutal out of it. You can just be like, too many notifications. Sorry, y'all. See ya. Let me know what happens in the end.
Let me know what happens in the end.
So I always send out, because I am asked to do this by my mother-in-law, to send out a group text for like Thanksgiving or Christmas, whoever's bringing what, the sign-up sheet. So it's in a group text. I don't know how to do the one where when you send it, it goes to everybody individually. That's the way I need to learn to do it.
You can do that in a text?
So
I know you can do that in an
sure.
email. It's called blind carbon copy. It's the BCC.
No, I think there is a way in text where if you send it, it will go into each person's inbox separately for text rather than everybody on the same one. And it's
Will it respond to one text?
I think it will. When you respond, it just goes to that person. Again, I don't know how to do it.
So there are different apps that I use for that kind of stuff now.
Okay.
There's GroupMe. That's a good app that you can use. That you just group everybody together and you don't have to worry about your text blowing up. But then now Liz, I think, has something against this.
Well, only
You should have seen her face. She's like, really?
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
Don't know if you're a fan of Indiana Jones, but if you've seen the Temple of Doom, that's the second one of the whole Indiana Jones series. The fedora that he wore in the movie just went up for auction for $630,000.
for a fedora.
Yes.
I thought when I buy one, it's really expensive.
Listen,
like
you know,
$30.
I loved the movie when I was growing up. Absolutely loved the movie, and I wanted a hat like that. I don't have that kind of money, but it would be cool to own that hat.
Yeah,
you know?
it really would. I mean, that it was actually on Indiana Jones.
And I'd wear it if it fit.
Oh, yeah.
I
Because you
wouldn't-
wear hats well. So the fedora would look really, really nice.
I don't know. I look creepy in a fedora. Cowboy hats work on me, but not the fedora. The fedora, I look like some chunky monkey walking around.
Oh, stop it. I'm trying to picture you with a fedora.
Don't,
But I
because it's
think
scary.
it would be great. I used to wear a fedora. They're
see-
pretty cool.
Yeah, I could see you.
Yeah, because women can wear them too.
You can wear anything. So here's the thing. The stunt man for Harrison Ford in that movie owned the hat for the longest time, and it just went up for auction.
Oh, he was like cashing in. But I mean, I totally see that.
I don't know, because that movie was what, the late 80s?
Yeah, but sometimes so at the end of a movie shoot, some of the stars or the stunt people or, just people that work on the movie can take some of those things because nobody thinks it's going to be worth anything.
Yeah.
And then when it becomes a blockbuster like that, then you're like, oh, okay.
Now, I was not, this is not blockbuster material, but I was in I Can Only Imagine, the movie at the very end. And so they have wardrobe. They let me keep the sweater that I wore.
What
in that.
What have you done with it?
I wear it. You see me in it every winter.
Put it
Seriously.
in a shadow box. And
Why?
like a picture
It's a sweater.
screen. Yes, put it in some sort of shadow box. Put like a picture of you from the movie with it, a ticket to the movie. That'd be so cool.
Well.
And then hang it, on your wall.
Why? It's a sweater. I wear it because it's so nice and comfortable.
We are different people.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
So, some dogs and their owners got together. Dogs and their humans, I guess, is a better way to put that. And they watched a movie. 210 of them.
Man, that was something. I wonder how many of the dogs actually sat there and watched the movie. Because some dogs will, but some dogs will not at all.
It was a Netflix movie too about inside the dog's mind or something like
Yeah,
that, or
something
Mind
like
of a
that.
Dog.
Never heard of
It's a
it.
documentary, so they thought, hey, if it's about dogs, we might as well do it. They tried to break a world record, it just didn't get there. I think they needed more dogs than humans.
They only needed like 10 more dogs.
Was that it?
I think that was all. They were looking for 220 and they got 210.
Talk about every vote counts, huh?
I know, right?
10 dogs and humans short of setting a world record. Who would have thought that would have been our world record anyway with Guinness?
There's a world record, I think, for everything. If you
Just
can think
about.
of it, they put it in that book. But yeah, they had 70 no-shows. 70.
That's a lot of no-shows.
You know, RSVPs, if you don't show up and you put in an RSVP, that's a problem.